these activities started. First of all, it's our privilege to announce tonight that we have a couple of birthdays. You've heard the corks popping over here. The Albuquerque Club is popping the champagne. But it's a happy birthday to Art Ashman and Pete Callahan. Would you two stand up, please? Keep standing. Here comes something for you. The cakes, not the girls. That's right. Okay, on that happy note, I would like to have all of you bow your heads in silence for just a minute for our poor fella Steve, who broke his leg today. Steve, we're really sorry, but we're glad to have you. Could you stand up and do something for us?
Don't worry about everything. Minor inconvenience, guys. I guess your head's all right. Don't learn how to fly. I'm done flying.
He said that he will get the cast off tomorrow, and he'll probably be out there to help his club. I've got a couple of announcements to make, and I'd like to have your attention on this. I noticed today that a number of players who played in the morning game did not take part in the afternoon workouts. Now, that's your option, but I want you to know that there is a schedule for you, and our instructors will stay and work with you as long as you want to out there on anything you need. Just today is Kevin Kennedy and Chico Fernandez. They worked out there forever and threw a lot of batting practice. So you do what you want to do in the afternoon, but these guys are ready to do the work for you. In tomorrow's schedule, I have just one little bit of a change, and I want you to know it, that I have assigned all of the Hall of Famers to a station. We will have 4 stations. They will stay in that station. You will rotate through all of the 4 stations so that you'll be able to be with and participate and get to know each of the Hall of Famers a little bit better. So you'll get to see all of them tomorrow. One will be live hitting. The cages, we're going to do some bunting work tomorrow and defensive skill work. So they will stay put. You guys will rotate with them. Now today, another announcement I'd like to make, and this is my 10th camp. I saw a lot of good arms out there today, pitchers. And I talked to two. No, there were some guys that threw the ball very well, but almost everyone to a man tried to overthrow. Once they got ahead of the hitters, they started coming sidearm and underhand and all the trick pitches they could think of, and that's what gets you in trouble. Just go out there, relax. We saw you over on the string, some of you guys, I know you can throw the ball well. Just get out there and throw it in there and throw it for strikes. That's what makes the game go along real fast. Now, today's games. For the play of the day, it was hands down winner today. It was the morning game. I saw a guy make a diving catch. Listen to me first before you say, oh. Made a diving catch, turned it into a double play. He started another double play. He was the middleman on 2 other double plays. He participated in at least 4 double plays. Dave Bernhardt.
Who was that again?
If I made
good time out there with the team, and we played well together.
No kidding.
Hey, we'll just go get some more double plays tomorrow.
That club may have set a record. They turned 5 double plays today. In the morning game, Albuquerque defeated Vero Beach 9-6, and it was one of the better games of the day. I would like to call up Harmon Killebrew to present the Potato Head Award for the Albuquerque Club.
Thank you, Guy, and you just mentioned why our club won today. Defensive skills were outstanding. 5 double plays. I've never seen that happen down here before. We got just an outstanding bunch of guys, and we had so many guys do great jobs today in our 9-6 win over Billy Williams' team. But I think it's only fitting for a guy that's having a birthday today to give this Potato Head Award to Art Ashman. He pitched 5 great innings for us and got the win for us. Art, congratulations.
What can you say when you have a team that backs you up with 5 double plays? This is shared with you guys.
Okay, for the losing team, Vero Beach, Catfish Hunter will present the award for the losing club.
Boy, else get up there and hammer.
They better be glad they got those 5 double plays. But I think, see what he got written here on this potato head. This goes to Harmon Killebrew for not playing all of his players 4 innings each. Signed, Billy Williams. Protest. It's not true. Did it, Chico? Did it, Chico? Chico today played 4 innings in a row. No, did oh, there you go. He's already talking to one of your players. Where's Norman Kent? We got a. I was talking to one of your players. They said everybody didn't play. All right, come on. Look it up. Even though we had a good game today, 9-6. We should have won. Man, woo. Our team is still the best.
Best last place team in the league.
Our Potato Head Award goes to Tim Kingston. He got 2 hits today. Played third base, outfield. Come on up, Tim. All right, Tim. Tell them how you did it, Tim.
I don't remember. All I know is Vero Beach has been on the road for 2 long games. We're home tomorrow, and we're going to kick some butt.
That's why you asked me that that question out there, huh, Billy, about the number of innings played? Okay. In one of the afternoon games, Salem and San Antonio. It was a long game, but it didn't set a record. I'd like to call up for the winning team, Salem, Don Drysdale.
Thanks, Guy, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we really don't need this shit. You know? I got to come back down here and start broadcasting on the 3rd, and, you know, I'd rather be home, to be very honest. We can settle all that stuff that you guys had earlier. We can settle that in the bar. Spotty and me settle that every night. If you guys have a problem, we'll take care of that. Willie Starger, first time that he's come down to the camp. And you talk about a pain in the butt to try and get out. When you're trying to get a man out that can hit like he can hit. And thank goodness I'm his coach. Because I listen to some of the things that he tells some of the players that we have in Salem. And I say to him, I said, how the hell did this guy hit like this? I said, there's no goddamn way this guy gets. This isn't a Willie Starger lie. This is somebody else in somebody's Pittsburgh uniform. I don't know this guy. But Will, I'll tell you, you're 2-0, baby. And I'll tell you, we just might win the whole thing. Because they finally took me out of the position of being a manager. And I've had the distinction of winning, and I've had the distinction of going 0-5, 0-6, all that stuff. You don't lose nothing. What do you mean lots of times? You don't say lots of times. But we have some people on our ball club, but they're not a lot of stars. We just play hard, that's all. And try and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And I think that's the whole key to what this whole camp's all about. Now, our Potato Head Award tonight is a fella that it was interesting to me because he went, he's from Van Nuys. I was born in Van Nuys, California, out in the San Fernando Valley. And we had a lot of people who went to Van Nuys High School that did a few things in their life, you know, going back to starting with Bob Waterfield. That's right, it's no big deal, it's no nothing, you know. But it was really not that big a thing. To be very honest with you, it wasn't that big a thing. As a matter of fact, if we could think about that big a thing, we could make a lot of money. But we have a guy that has really not played baseball that much. And hasn't really thrown a baseball that much. And he came down here to this camp, and he said, I am going to come to this camp, and I'm going to play baseball. And he did. He got his first hit, and he helped a rally go, and keep it going, continued the rally. We scored a lot of runs today. We scored 20 runs. It doesn't make a difference how many you earn. That's however you win or lose. If you earn runs don't mean nothing. It depends on whether you win or lose. So that means absolutely nothing. But Ron Brown, I want you to come up because I want to see someone. Come on up here, Ron. Where are you? There you go.
This is the greatest thrill I've ever had. Thank you very much.
And for the losing Santa, if you've got enough film in there, you're snapping 2 or 3 pictures tonight. Now that's very unusual. Oh, okay. The losing team, Duke Snyder.
Well, this award goes to Don Drysdale because he intimidated the umpire behind home plate. A ball hit with the bases loaded now. Final score 20-15, but the ball's hit down the line. It's fouled by about a foot, and Don has given it the fair signal, coaching third base, and it intimidated the umpire into calling it a fair ball. Now, Mr. Webb was our third baseman, and he was so upset, but he's such a nice young man, he wouldn't say anything. If he argues, I'm out of the game because I'm going to jump all over the umpire. But Don, this is your award. But stay there, we're going to give it to somebody else. You know, the funny thing, you hear about Van Nuys and you hear about all this kind of stuff, but probably one of the greatest competitors that I ever played baseball with was Don. He was a heck of a pitcher. He's going to the bathroom now. No, he's going to the bar. He's going to the bar. Last night, at 1:15 in the morning, I'm in bed, Dev's over in the other bed, and all of a sudden I hear, "Good night, Spawny." At 1:15 in the morning, and I've said goodnight to Don at later hours than that, but to hear that, I says, boy, he just closed the bar again. Anyway, we've got quite a team in San Antonio. We've scored 25 runs in 2 games, and we're 0-2.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Now, Wilhelm is our manager. He's a pitcher. I was a hitter, so I like to take credit for the 25 runs. But the defense is really what's killing us. Anyway, we've got a guy that can swing a bat. We got about 5 guys in really the early part of our lineup that can really swing a bat, and I think early in the game we found out just exactly how to manage against our club. Is you pitch around the first 5 guys and you beat us. And it sort of worked that way. We wanted to give this award to the Warner brothers. Because these guys, they've never played baseball in their life. I don't think they really knew what baseball is about. But they were on base 5 times a day. They've each gotten a base hit in the last 2 days. And they are outstanding on defense. They have not committed an error in 2 games. Because they leave their glove in the clubhouse. But they're great guys. They're great guys, and I wish we could have given you the award, but we've given it to a left-handed batter who is a power hitter, and Billy Williams and I know what that's all about. Willie Stargell, left-handed power hitter, Jerry Seuss. Cease fire, right?
I just want all you guys to know that Tim's from Omaha and I'm from Omaha, and we got to play tomorrow, I think. So
Where the hell's Omaha?
we're both 0-2, so one of us is going to lose tomorrow, and it isn't going to be our team. Thanks.
Okay, for the game that was played over in Harmon Stadium today. Well, they could be still playing over there with the lights on. That had to set a record time for games in a fantasy camp. It was really, really a long game. Spawn's team beat the spread 23-13. And they did set a game length record. To call up the losing team first, Great Falls, Juan Marichal.
I wish I had some excuse like some of the guys over here. I don't want to blame Spanny for the loss or Ernie. I think the team we played today, they was good. You know, they hit good. They scored 23 runs, and there's no way you can beat a team like that. But let me tell you something. We're lucky that we don't play in Dominican. We'll all be in jail tonight. We have a lot of good players in our team. You know, I told the guy tonight, you know, relax, go out, get drunk, no curfew. So that way we win tomorrow. Be relaxed tomorrow. We're gonna win some game because we have a good team. Oh yeah, we have to. There's no way we can go home without at least one victory. We have a guy in our team that played good yesterday. He got about 2 or 3 hits. Today he was a good player, and around the infield he played good. We need a catcher. He was right behind home plate, and he did a good job. And it's a great honor to me to present this Potato Head Award to Al Crossley.
This is the most fun I've had in a couple of days, and I gotta say this whole concept is a one-class act, which is typical of the Dodgers, in my opinion. Thank you.
Juan, I've got to ask you a question. Robin Roberts told me this just a little while ago. He said that he turned the club over to you for the first 4 or 5 innings today, and that when the score was 15-0 in their favor, he said that the players didn't understand Spanish. And that he took over again and had a hell of a time trying to come back. Is that true or not? Okay, for the winning club, Ernie Banks is going to present the award.
Let's play 2.
Played 3.
How you feel, Ernie?
How you feel? What a guy. What a guy. What a game. What a place. Anyway, we had a marvelous day and we all enjoyed it. Our Potato Head Award goes to a young man who typifies just going out and playing the game. There are people we meet in life that can sing and all they do is go sing. That people can dance and all they do is dance. This young man, to all of us, just goes out and play. Let's say hello to Dan Zabrinsky.
We had a good first half. We have a good quarterback on our team. That's how we did it.
We have a fantastic team. We're going to see Albuquerque tomorrow. I think we have a way to take them to figure out how to do their double plays, right? All right, thank you very much. Great camp.
Okay, before I turn this over to our speakers for the night, I would like to make one statement, and I say this every camp as the days go on. I would appreciate all of us, campers and instructors, to be on the field when the instruction and the play begins, starting tomorrow. It's really a shame for one or two people to hold up everybody else getting what they want to get out there. So I'd appreciate it if everybody come out. It was great to see a great number of people out there today for Bill Bueller stretching. I'd like to see that tomorrow. I think it's going to do you a world of good if you keep at it. I think you're going to learn something if you come out to the, go to all the stations out there, instruction. It's going to do you good. It's going to make you get something real good out of this camp. Okay, I would like to now call up the #1 man for the speaking tonight, and baseball can be fun. The greatest catcher ever in baseball, Roy Campanella.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody's having a good time. Welcome to Dodger Town. I got some stories I'm telling you, you're not going to believe them. Juan Marichal was up and he said, talking about jail. I was playing in Caracas, Venezuela. Sal Rogovin was pitching the game. Never forget it. He walked 4 men in a row in the first inning. And the soldiers marched out the stands and taken him and locked him up. That's very true. The manager of the team had him locked up. No American is supposed to walk 4 men in a row. It's true. All right, another ball game in Caracas, Venezuela. Bases loaded in the 9th inning. The team that had the bases loaded was 1 run behind. It's 3-2 on the hitter. Now they had an American catcher, but the umpire was Spanish. The next pitch, the catcher didn't know what he called it. The runner was coming in from third base. The catcher went out to tag him on 3-2. The runner taking the ball out of his hand, threw it over the stands, and the umpire said he's out. They lost the ball game. Never seen anything like this before. But when you're playing in these countries, these are the kind of things that happen. And this is true. Juan was telling you about going to jail. Nobody went to jail. But they went to jail in Venezuela at the time. Everybody walked in the ballpark was searched. That's true. The soldiers were searching everybody. Right in Caracas, Venezuela. Well, at that time, they were having one of those slight revolutions between the soldiers and the police. Now, this is tough, but when you're living in the country, but baseball stops all of that, but they still search you when you went in the ballpark. You know, one day we were playing the Boston Braves up in Boston, And in the bottom of the 9th inning, it was raining like the devil. 2 outs. Yeah, the Dodgers were ahead. Sponny will remember this. And up comes a hitter named Connie Ryan. He had on a raincoat and a hat. Boy, I've never seen an umpire throw a man out of the ball game so quick. And I'm telling you, it's raining to beat the devil. He threw him out the ball game and said, I don't care how hard it rains, we're going to finish this game. So it got another hitter up and we got him out. The game was over. But I'm telling you, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen on a ball field. And I've seen some dandies. I mean in the big leagues. I caught a pitcher in Brooklyn, Billy Lowe's. We're playing the Giants in the Polo Grounds. And Mays was a good base runner. He gets on first, so I tell Lowe's, look, throw over there. He said, okay. Fastball right through the middle of the plate. So I run out to the middle. I said, Billy, did you see the sign? He said, no. Go back there and give it to me again. So I started laughing and out on the mound too. And what did I do that for? Dresden was our manager, and I'm telling you, you should have seen him coming out that dugout. He said, what's so damn funny out of it? I told him, so he said, I don't blame you for laughing. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like catching in the big leagues. Nothing. I went and I caught we were playing the Giants one day in Brooklyn. And I went over to the stands and caught a pop fly. Now the umpire behind me was Augie Donatelli. How do I remember all his names? He never forget these guys. Never. I caught the ball and threw it to Cox, third base. And Augie said, you didn't catch the ball. I said, well, what did I do? You're taking it out of that fan's hands. I said, you must be blind. I was out of that ball game. Now, this is true. How could you possibly take the ball out of a fan's hand? You reached in the stands catching the ball. We're playing Sponny and them up in Boston one day. The last week of the season, you heard the home run that Bobby Thompson did. Well, it was that week. Now, we had to play Boston before we went to Philadelphia at the end of the season. And we were battling the Giants tooth to tooth in that last 2 series. And there was a play at home plate. Preacher Rowe was pitching for us. We were 1 run ahead. Now, I got down on my knees in front of home plate. And caught the ball. Bobby Addis was the runner. And I thought I tagged him out. I thought I did. And Dascoli called him safe. I said, how could you call this man safe? He said he slid through my legs. Now I'm on my knees. I said, how the hell can you slide through a man's leg when you're on your knees? Well, there's another game I got put up. So, but these are the only 2 games I ever was put out in my career. But we should have won that ball game because they had to put Wayne Terwilliger in my place to hit. And in the 9th inning, the bases were loaded with 1 out, and Terwilliger had to hit. Now, I'd have loved to have been in that spot. I don't care what I'd have done. I'd have loved to have been in that spot. But Terwilliger hit into a double play and we got beat. Now, that's the last 2 games of the season. Well, anyhow, Bobby Thompson home run beat us. And that made it sure, it makes you feel bad. But it was nothing like that day. You know, after the game, we went to in the clubhouse. Branker was sitting in his locker crying. This is true. You know, you talk about money, you talk about this. Winning and losing is something too. Ernie Banks wouldn't know nothing about it. Ernie never did get to enjoy the fruits of victory. To wear these kind of rings. It's tough.
We tried, Ernie, we tried.
It's tough, it's true. But we respected Ernie when we played the Cubs. But don't worry, I'd tell Ernie when he'd come to bat. If Newcomb was pitched, I'd say, watch out now. Nuke's gonna knock your butt down. I always did. I talked to the hitter. So Ernie would tell me, what would he knock me down for? You'll find out. You know, the catchers don't talk to the hitters today. I mean, I tell them sometimes, I'm gonna throw you a good fastball. They thought I was lying. Throw him a fastball. Say, I'm gonna throw you another one. Might break off a good curveball to you. It's a lot of fun. We was playing the Giants one day, and I taken a little sand, and I flipped up in Willie's shoes, Willie Mays. So I did it again. So he turned around, he told the umpire, said, he's bothering me. So umpire said, I didn't see him do anything. So DeRocher was coaching third base. So he ran up, so he said, Willie, what's wrong? He said, Campanella's bothered me. I said, what is he doing? I don't know. Anyhow, DeRocher went on back to third base. But I always did. I had a lot of fun with Willie. And what a player. What a player. There's another player I got to tell you about, Josh Gibson. Now, before I went to the big leagues, I played in the Negro National League. I started in 1937. I was 15 years old, but I only could play on the weekend. I was in school. Josh Gibson was the best hitter I have ever seen. Now, at 15, I didn't realize this, but as I went along in years and years, this guy was the best power hitter, the best average hitter. I mean, to make contact. As many home runs as he hit, you'd think he'd strike out. You'd never seen this man strike out. Didn't chase bad balls. And would hit the ball as far to right field as he did to left field, to center field. And when he could hit it through the infield. I mean, for average. Now, Harmon Killebrew played at Griffith Stadium in Washington. This was the longest left field in the big leagues. Josh Gibson played with the Homestead Grays. They played their home games at Griffith Stadium and in Pittsburgh, in Forbes Field. Josh Gibson hit more home runs in Griffith Stadium in one season than the entire American League. The entire American League. Now, they didn't keep records in the Negro Leagues. Nobody knows how many home runs this man hit. Nobody. But he was a good hitter. I mean, normally you see a guy hit all these home runs. He swings and misses and stumbles. And Gibson didn't do that. He was a big man. He was a big man. A catcher. And you know, you forgot about his catching because he could hit so doggone good. And he was a right-hand hitter. And they had a fellow fouling that was a left-hand hitter, Buck Leonard, that's also in the Hall of Fame along with Josh. Now these fellas never had the opportunity to play in the big leagues. But buddy, they could play. I'll assure you. They could. We had two leagues, the Negro American League and the Negro National League. The American League was in the West, the National League was in the East. Now I played with Baltimore. We had a pretty good team too. I said we had 4 starting pitchers that I'd have recommended to the Dodgers any day. One of them threw a spitball. Now you talking about spitballs. Look, a spitball, you have to chew the bark of a tree, which is elm, slippery elm. See, they talk about these spitballs they get in that. That's no spitball. No, that slippery elm and beech nut chewing tobacco. And Buddy put that on the ball, and you want to see something. You have seen something. And they talk about the emery ball with the little emery paper. Buddy, you couldn't hit this pitch with a tennis racket. Now, this is true. Now, I haven't seen a good emery ball pitcher in the big leagues. They talk about it. They say, oh, this guy's throwing this and he's throwing that. All this was legal in the Negro League. Anything you could do was legal. And Gibson would still hit it. But it taught everybody you couldn't swing from your heels to hit these kind of pitches. You just had to meet the ball. We didn't have all the instructions. When I come to Dodger Town and I see the sliding pit, a batting cage, a batting machine, a tee. Now, I had played 10 years, and I'd never seen these things in my life. But it just shows you how these kind of things polish me off. I learned how to catch. My first manager was a catcher of the team. Now, at 15, I had to sit beside him and warm up pitchers in the bullpen. Biz Mackey, great catcher, switch hitter. And his backup catcher was Nish Williams. So I was the third string guy. I warmed up all the pitchers and played any place they wanted me to play. And that's true. But both of those catchers got hurt. And I had to catch. But Mackey said, don't worry about it. Just, you come and sit beside me and I'll tell you what to do. And our spitball pitcher was named Bill Bird. I never seen a man that could spit on the ball like he could and throw the ball where he wanted to. Where he wanted to. You know, they only carried, what, about 17 men on the team. When you started, you finished. That's right. This is true. And get in that bus and ride 500 miles to someplace else and play the next day. You know, one day we played 2 doubleheaders in a day. Played 2 at Cincinnati at Crosley Field and went to Middletown, Ohio and played 2 that night. I caught all 4 of them. I'll never forget that. I only did it once, but I did it. But all I wanted was a turn it back. That's all I wanted. I'd catch a zillion. Because as all kids, look here, everybody wanted to bet. And that was it. I wanted my turn at bat. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And playing in the big leagues, you know, I went and played in Mexico. And I met so many fellas, Sal Magley, left the Giants to come to play in Mexico. Max Lanier, Danny Gardella, Mickey Owen left the Dodgers to come down there. Louis Almo left the Dodgers to come to Mexico. I said, what in the hell is happening? You guys leave the big league to come and play down here? And here we wish we could play in the big leagues. Now that was our stomping ground. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico, Panama, Venezuela. But when big league players start coming to these countries, you know, we started to wonder. I said, well, why would you come down here? I said, well, we can make more money down here. You know, I said, just for money, you gonna play on these kind of fields? Now this is where the money come into. I said, you guys are leaving those fine ballparks, the big leagues, to come down here and play. In Tampico, Mexico, a train runs through the outfield. That's the truth. It comes in right field and goes out left field. And you hold up the game. God's honest truth. Train sitting that high up above the playing field. You know, but it's a, and I said, now, something has to be wrong. All right, you know, they had a minimum, there wasn't no minimum there. Sometimes some ball players in the big league made $3,000 a year. A lot different now, isn't it? Those days are gone. They get that much eating money. You know, we used to get 50 cents a day to eat on. I think these fellas today get $48 a day to eat on. Is that right?
I think it's like about $65.
Jesus. They, how much? Okay, Bill. I bet you they don't eat that much a day. And many of them I see going out of McDonald's. It is. It's nothing like the big leagues. But to see young players, the Dodgers used to do something that I would always appreciate. You know, we had 26 farm clubs. 26, right here. Started in 1948. We had 600 and some ball players here. This was Vero Beach Naval Air Station. Well, I'm telling you. And we had classes. We had a roster in our pocket. Now, you hear that horn blow now, and it was the same thing. You're going through the same thing. We had to change classes every time we heard that horn blow. You had to slide, but we didn't slide on grass. We had to slide in sawdust. Everybody had to slide or learn how to. And today the fellas don't like it because they get dirty. I'm talking about the big league ball players, not you. They didn't like to get sawdust down their back. And you know, our sliding instructor, when you might wind up with Mr. Ricky right out there at the sliding pit, say if you don't get your numbers dirty on your back, you're not sliding right. These little pop-up slides, Mr. Ricky didn't like it. He wanted you to get down and get your feet up. You never hurt yourself. And then still be watching where the ball goes. Now, just think about it. You have to learn how to slide sometime. Yeah, and you slide wherever you see the man's gonna catch the ball on this side, you go the other way. He's gonna catch it over here, you go the other way. They're gonna learn you how to go both ways. And breaks and leads. What is a break and lead? You see, now I had played so many years and I never heard of this. And they would sit a tee up there in the batting cage, a tee. So now see if you can't hit this pitch to right field off of this tee. Hit this one to left field, raise it up a little higher. You know, it educates you to the point where you start trying things with your bat. You're not up there just swinging. I remember they used to have Duke in there and wouldn't let Duke swing. You know, we used to watch one another. Well, they were trying to help him find the strike zone right. And he had to call the pitch out, had an umpire and a catcher, and he couldn't swing. It'd strike or ball, strike or ball. And all these things helped Hodges, Farillo. All of these guys, I've never been with a better group of players. From an infield with Robinson and Hodges, Reese, Billy Cox, in the outfield with Farillo and Duke, and whoever played left field, and myself catching, that wanted to play every day. You know, sometime I wondered today, how in the hell did we ever lose? See, everybody looked at these fellas for hitters, but these men knew how to play their positions. They would lead the league in fielding in their position. And if you stopped the other team from scoring, they didn't have to score that much. I was proud that I was able to catch Drysdale when he first come up, although I saw Don one day down here, Bakersfield was playing 10 o'clock in the morning, and Alston and I went to see him pitch. And I asked Alston one day, when we played the Yankees up here, let him pitch 3 innings. And boy, he showed us something. He did. I caught Koufax's first game in Brooklyn. I caught Erskine, Roger Craig. I caught Barney for a while, not his first game. Boy, he could throw, but he didn't know where home plate was. If he ever could have found home plate, he would have been a dandy. But it's true, he's the public address announcer in Baltimore now. But the man just never could, had a tremendous arm, but never could control the ball. Branca could throw, good pitcher. I think Branca was the youngest pitcher ever to win 20 games in the big leagues. Padres made the biggest jump of anybody. We had a Class D team. D. He came from D to the big leagues. He had one of the best change-ups. He and Carl Erskine. The change speeds off the ball. Tremendous. Good curveball, good fastball. Tremendous pitcher. Erskine, the best overhand curveball you wanted to see. I know I'm talking about a lot of Dodgers. I played a lot of all-star games. And gee, I caught Blackwell. Robin Roberts was one of my favorites. You know, I batted against him, but catching him is a lot different. Catching him is a lot different. Boy, he could pitch. And it looked like every time the Dodgers were coming down, he would pitch against you tonight and want to relieve the next night. You couldn't ask these pitchers to do that today. Hershiser did it in the Players World Series. But Robin would pitch one night, relieve the next night. Say, boy, this guy, they want to beat the Dodgers so bad. It was true. But you know, this is what's so good about winning. Winning. And money doesn't mean a thing. But these rings, you can't buy them. Can you, Ernie? Ernie has one of these. This is a Hall of Fame ring. There's a few of these. They're exceptional. You know, the older you get and you look at these rings, boy, you never could forget this. Never. You know, it's so nice to be in this type of category and to know you've been the best in your field that you've possibly could have been. And to see the young players today, I'm still with the Dodgers, and to try to tell them, look, you can go as far as you want to go, but you have to put out and do it and keep it here. Some of these young fellas you talk to go in one ear and right out the other. They have all the ability in the world, but they get out there in between those lines, and undoubtedly they can't communicate. Yes, they have ability, good players. Sometimes I wonder about AstroTurf, because that make that ball fly. Hit the ball on the ground, it's a little tough. No, it may not take bad hops, but they can get to your right or left real quick. And if you don't know how to get over right away and get it, it's base hit. And some of the gloves they use today, they're baskets. They should never miss a ball. And then they catch it and you can't find it. This is true. You don't know where the ball's at. But it's a good game. I enjoyed it. I played it from my heart. I played for nothing. When the Dodgers signed me, I come out of the Negro Leagues. Look, just give me the opportunity. I didn't ask for no money. I didn't ask how much you're gonna pay me. Just give me the opportunity to play. And they did. Nobody else in the league, at the sign of Jackie Robinson, nobody else in the league had any black players. I'll tell you, I was invited down to, the Phillies invited me down to Chi-Town one day from school. And they had 2 other boys from our school team in Philadelphia. But the name Campanella must have fooled them. Time I got down there and went to go in, the man said, "You can't come in here." Said, "Must be a mistake." That was the mistake. I was black. But Campanella had fooled him. Well, anyhow, when I went back with the Dodgers, Hans Lobert said, "Gee, I'm sorry they didn't let you in." But that's the name of the game. Thanks, I enjoyed it. I don't think we have time for any answers or questions, but you can catch me out on the field and ask me anything you want at any time. Thanks again.
Thank you, Roy. Entertaining once again. And now for the rebuttal, Ernie Banks.
What a guy. Thank you, guy. What a guy. What a guy. What a guy. Thank you.
How you feel, Ernie?
I feel like a billion after taxes. Thank you, Roy. I really enjoyed it. What Roy was basically saying is that baseball is just love and understanding and friendship and togetherness. That's basically what we all believe in baseball. Roy and I touched lives some 35 years ago in North Carolina. And I was a young man starting out in baseball. And I needed a ride. I was barnstorming with the Jack Robinson All-Stars, and Roy gave me a ride. And what a joy it was to be with him for about 2.5 hours to talk about baseball. He's a remarkable man, and I'm just so happy to be with him tonight and always seeing the Dodger Stadium and wherever we are connected with baseball. I'm only going to take 5 minutes, but I do want to explain to all of you some of the things that have been a real joy to my life. And I'm going to start out with the question, why I feel that baseball is the most unique sport in the world. And I'm going to ask Bob this. Why do you think baseball is different than any other sport in the world?
Well, I think because it's the only sport in the world where there's no time clock.
No time, that's true.
You play until it's over.
You play till it's all over. We had a game like that today. We played. In fact, if you complain about it, you know, a game game lasted about 4 hours a day, but we're living up to our song now. You got to remember this always. Take me out to the ball game, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. What, Billy?
I don't care if I never get that.
That's right. We have to live up to our song, so that's a part of it. So when we play games that run a little long, enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. But there's another reason. Les, you know why baseball is different than other sports in the world?
Well, I know a few things. I know that in baseball, the defense always has the ball.
Yeah, that's different than Syracuse. The defense always has the ball. That's true. Defense has the ball. But let me tell you why baseball is the most unique game in the world.
We got an Ernie Banks.
What's that?
We got an Ernie Banks.
Well, we got, thank you very much, but we do have a tremendous amount of baseball players, 59 Hall of Famers, and about 4,000 players who played professional baseball in America. It is a remarkable game, and I'm happy that all of you had a chance to select the Dodger Old Timers Camp to come to and to be connected with the game and to come to the World Series and All-Star games and get associated with the players and play in college. And it's unique because baseball ameliorates the classic polarization between the self-motivated individual and the collective ideology. And that's why it's different. Let me say that again, and I'll explain it a little further. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Juan, but that's the way I view it. Baseball is unique because it ameliorates the classic polarization between the self-motivated individual and the collective ideology. And what I mean by that is when Mr. Butcher's at bat, he has to be a self-motivated individual to hit the ball. When he steps in that batter's box, no one can help him. He has to do it himself. And that's different than any other sport. But when you go into the field, when he goes to left field or right field or shortstop, you become a part of the collective group, so you have to play with the team. So it's 1 against 9 and 9 against 1. And there's no other sport like that. You can be a self-motivated individual and still be part of a team. Is that great, Billy?
That's great.
That's great. I just love it. I just love it. You can get up there and do your thing in the batter's box and go into the field and play as a team, as a group. And that's different. Many countries around the world don't understand that philosophy, that they can be an individual and still be part of a team. You know that, right, Bob?
Absolutely.
So that's why baseball is different, unique, it's fun, and it's something that grows with you, becomes a part of your life. And I believe some 35 years ago, I read a lot of good statements by Roy Campanella, and I'm sure unless you remember one that he said that stood out for a lot of years about when you put on a uniform, you what?
You are always a little boy.
You're always a little boy. And when Marge and I arrived here on Friday and had a chance to see all of you and your faces and all that, walked in the locker room, and I'm sure God has seen this too, and you start seeing those uniforms and looking at them, and once you put on the socks and the top part and the bottom, you could just see that you just related back to when you were about 5 years old. And it's a good feeling. And those of us who are here helping you along, we feel the same way too. Once we put that uniform on, our whole personality changed. We're different, aren't we, Bob?
Yes.
What makes us different?
We're little boys.
That's right. We're baseball people, and we're little boys. We become little boys again, and that's fun. I feel awfully sorry about a lot of the females that don't have a chance to be a little girl every once in a while, to do that.
They go shopping.
That's not.
You feel like kids this now.
After taxes.
But to do that, to put that uniform on, it is a wonderful thrill just to do that, to put it on and walk out on the field, and people are there to see you. It's a good feeling, isn't it? More than that, I mean, to put the uniform on and to go out there and play. And that's all baseball is. You play the game.
Ernie, tell the exit story.
The exit story.
The exit story. The exit sign story.
I don't know that one. Billy, you know that one?
Billy
No,
asked
what?
me to ask you.
The exit story?
Exit sign.
I don't remember that one.
Big round thing.
But anyway,
Oh, you're.
just to put the uniform on is a good feeling to walk out on that field. And to walk out on the field and play the game. And once you get on the field, here's the one thing that we all enjoy as professional baseball players in America, that once we're on that field, it's the only place we know that we can control our lives. Right, Robin? Right, Juan, when you're on that mound, no. Juan. No, but think of this here. When you're on that mound, Robin, Juan, all the pitchers here tonight, Sponny, Drysdale, that you, on that mound, you get your sign, and those are decisions that you are making. When you want to throw a fastball and when you want to throw a curve. Isn't that a great thing, Catfish? To know that you have the feeling of making your own decisions.
Go along with it,
You know, the other great beauty about being a baseball player is the uncertainties of baseball. It's a remarkable game because it's a game where you study the quantitative method of optimum decision making under conditions of uncertainty. And that's the whole game. Mike, listen to this, Mike. When you at bat, and you be facing Drysdale on Wednesday, or Marichal, or Sponny, they know what they're going to throw to you, but you don't. And that's the great part of this game.
It won't much matter, though.
The uncertainty of this game is marvelous. Tommy Lasorda, manager of the year, the Los Angeles Dodgers. You think when he sat in that dugout, he had some computer printer out to know when to put somebody, when to take somebody out? No. Just by feel. And he knows that he put Hershiser in the pitch to save this game. It's feel, it's uncertainty. It's sure the same way in your business. It's uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's great about this game, isn't it? That you don't know what's out there. It's taking a chance. A lot of people don't know how to take a chance. We talked about that today, fear. It's the only game where you can really overcome fear. And fear is just a spirit. When you get in that batter's box, you know, you're not quite sure what you're going to do. But you can overcome it. I can do it. And I know Snyder has done it many times when you step in that batter's box. And Killebrew step in that batter's box. I can do it. And I've seen Billy do this many times. Give you a little story. We're playing the Houston Astros at Wrigley, changing pitches to bring in to Billy Williams, left-hander. Billy comes over to me, said, well, they got this left-hander coming in here. They think they're going to get me out. If I get on, are you going to get me in? And Margie always says this about me. I'm very quick to answer that. I say, yes, you get on, I'll get you in. So sure enough, he hit a double, and I hit a single to get him in. And after that happened, I just didn't believe I had committed to do something that I really wasn't sure of. And he hit a double in that game. You remember that, Billy?
Real well.
A long drive right But he got the double, I got the single to get him in. And that's a good example of how this game, baseball, which is a remarkable game, can allow you to do things in your subconscious mind. Commit to do them that you never thought you could do. And you all seen this happen many times. Bobby Mercer says, Some kid was in the hospital. A kid called Bobby Burst up. Bobby Burst, I'm a fan of yours. I followed your career for a lot of years. Will you hit me a home run today? And he did that in his subconscious mind. You see the Babe Ruth story in his mind. Kid called him up and said, hey, would you hit me a home run today? Yeah, kid, I'll hit you one. And he did it.
That was William Bendix.
But it's something that in your mind in this game that's another level. It's a real another level, isn't it, Harmon, Killebrew?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
All right.
Ernie, I know what
All right.
Wilhelm throwing every time, he still can't hit it.
Because what?
You do what Wilhelm was throwing every time, he still couldn't hit it.
You know what he was throwing? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you know what's coming. There's some way in life. Sometimes you know what's coming and nothing ever happened. That's happened to us and Billy, 1969. Led the league for 103 days. We felt we had to put it in the bag. And it got away. The bag broke. Sometimes that can happen. Sometimes that happens in life. Like the Titanic. If I said no, the Titanic wouldn't sink. But it did. And that's the way life is. So what I'm basically saying, baseball is life. That's what it really is. And when you go back to your various cities and meet your friends, and you spend 6 days here, whatever it might have been, you learn a lot about life. It's uncertain. You have to be positive about yourself. You have to work together, teamwork. You can be an individual, and you can accomplish anything you want in it. You want to be the most valuable player or win the batting championship, you can do it. All you have to do is make it in your mind. That's what I'm saying. Like Harmon hit 40 home runs, 8 years in the major leagues. And I'm sure in his mind, he just said, I'm going to do it.
What mind?
He's got a good mind. You just do it. So that's basically the message I want to bring along. Roy has been a great mentor to me, and his knowledge of the game, the little things that he knows how to deal with, how to play the game, the people involved in the game, the friendships that you establish as you move along in baseball is remarkable. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will see each other somewhere along the line, and you remember some of the things that happened here at the Dodger camp. So I appreciate all of you coming. We all appreciate your interest in baseball, and we know that somewhere along the line that you personally are going to benefit from just your experience of being here at Dodgertown. It has nothing to do with all of us. We want to help, try to give you some of the small things we learned as a major league player, but there's a real deep side of sports that's unreal. I mean, the psychological part of it, of playing it and understanding it and overcoming the fears and working with people in your community and working with kids that are associated with it and giving back something to the game itself is just remarkable. And on behalf of all the Hall of Famers here tonight, I mean, our basic philosophy is not to deal with baseball as one big sponge. And I'm sure you've seen a sponge. We want to give something back to it, make it grow, make it bigger than ever, and we want to be able to assist the young players who are playing today so that they can learn to give. And that's what baseball is really all about. We really have to learn to give and share and get along with other people. So thank you very much for coming, being a part of it. And we'll be seeing you on Wednesday when Horton Wilhelm will be throwing you a knuckleball, and you know what's coming.
Thank you, Roy Campanella and Ernie Banks. Good night, everybody.